Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So once again, thank you to all of you for joining us for today's criminal law practice establishment. I will begin by saying that I'm Teodor Burnar. I am the Chief of Content and Branding at WOLEP, and I will deliver a short presentation based on our latest developments in the network's activity. So I hope everyone sees what we projected on the screens.
Yes.
Great, thank you for the confirmation. So first of all, we will deliver a short word from our staff. Afterwards, we'll be tackling the common branding campaign and the launch of our podcast, of which you probably know by now. Afterwards, we'll be discussing about our most recent practice, which was established on 8 June, which is the real estate law practice. And then we will begin the proper conversation about today's main subject, which is criminal law. So I will kindly ask everyone to turn off their microphone if that's okay for now. So first of all, we are excited to update you on the latest developments of WOLEP. Hopefully you will stay tuned for this short but engaging session. And I will begin by saying that one of the major developments in WOLEP for the past few months is the launch of our common branding campaign. And I won't bother you with too many words, but as you can see on your screens, it's a campaign which intends to bring a very cohesive and unified visual identity to WOLEP, to all of our members, and to allow you to better promote yourselves and also WOLEP in your dealings with clients and third parties in the legal and business fields. Secondly, this common branding campaign that we have worked on tries to enhance your reputation and credibility as WOLEP lawyers and to make you more visible and recognizable to potential clients, but also to partners, to other, let's say, colleagues in your networks and so on. And this campaign includes a broad range of resources, starting with the email signature, which is being used by many of the WOLEP members, but also it will furnish you with business templates, law office plaques, and communication templates. And I will show you what I mean by that. So, for example, these are some simulations of stationery. They are beautifully designed, as you can see by our graphic designer, Mrs. Stefania Biker. Here you can see, for example, some branded stationery, including envelopes, business cards, and so on. Also, some booklets and dossiers, some files in which you can and through which you can properly brand yourselves and the WOLEP network and your membership to our network. And hopefully at some point we'll also issue WOLEP magazine. We are looking into that, and we'll try to make this a reality, which will comprise obviously activities with our members. So our invitation for you is to join us in this campaign. We are counting on you, and we are beginning to unroll it step by step. So please contact our staff for any inquiries or questions you may have. I would also like to take a moment to welcome our member from France, I think, Mr. Nicolas Richardot. Bonjour, Monsieur Richardot. Nous sommes ravis de vous avoir ici avec nous.
There's nothing to stop here.
Sorry. Okay, just a second. So going further with our presentation, we are very excited to inform you that we have launched our WOLEP Podcast episode 1. It is now available on wolep.com, and it explores the most pressing issues in the legal industry, also the emerging trends, and let's say the topical subjects that interest our members, first of all. This podcast will feature legal experts from all around the globe, who are members of the WOLEP community. And I will show you what I mean by that. So for example, here you have a snapshot from our recording of the podcast, from the video recording. The first episode was held incidentally in Bucharest, Romania, with our fellow members, Mr. Cristian Calcev, who's a specialist in immigration law, labor law, corporate and commercial law from Bulgaria, and with Mrs. Sonia Pasquali from Italy, also a former lawyer and now a member of the WOLEP staff. So hopefully we will have many of you as guests in our podcast. And here is a snapshot of our homepage. I highlighted the area, the zone in which the podcast is available. So you just have to click on the menu. It's the second button, which will bring you this beautifully designed web page of the podcast. We are very proud about it, and hopefully you will also like the production value of this podcast. We think that this podcast will allow you to talk about your practice and will also allow you to increase your visibility as experts in your field. So again, don't miss out on this opportunity. Contact us today and schedule your appearance. And also don't be shy, but I think most of the lawyers are not shy. Moving on, we are also very proud to announce that we established the real estate law practice. And I think, for example, Mrs. Rajkovic, also some other members that joined us today know what I'm talking about. This is our latest practice after the first one, which was the sports law practice. And the real estate practice was established almost 2 weeks ago. It is aimed at improving professional collaboration between professionals in this industry, which is obviously a very dynamic and a very business-oriented field. And here we have a screenshot of our meeting 2 weeks ago. It brought together WOLEP real estate practitioners. It was led by Mrs. Carmen Cârcotă. She is the coordinator of this practice, and it allowed us to know each other and to share insights about our respective markets, so from each of our countries. So I think it gives you a glimpse of what we did at that meeting, and it also applies to today's meeting because that will be the same template for today. Meanwhile, on wolep.com, stats are booming, as you can see. So we have also another beautifully designed web page where you can find all of our latest activities, editorial activities in this sense. So you can see many WOLEP talks, also reports on our practice launches. So through these special features, WOLEP talks, and also translations of editorial pieces, you as WOLEP members are drawing thousands of reads across our channels. So thousands of views from your colleagues, but also from your current clients and potential clients. So that is not bragging. That is the pure reality. So these are the facts. And we are very glad that this is happening and we can provide you with this service. So we are talking about wolep.com, so our website, but also our LinkedIn channels, our YouTube channels, and various other channels through which we can popularize your work. And by this, we are boosting your online presence, but also your standing in the legal arena and reputation towards your current clients, potential clients, but also towards the general public. And you can see here a snapshot of a WOLEP talk that I held recently with Mr. Martin Boszkowski. He's our member from North Macedonia. He's a corporate lawyer, and we had a very, very compelling chat. I hope that you will have a bit of time to read his thoughts on the legal market in his country, but not only. And here is another screenshot of my LinkedIn profile this time. You can probably see that there are many reactions and mentions of this WOLEP talk, which proves that by taking part in our activities, you are positioning yourself as relevant lawyers, as an expert who is a part of an international network and who has a high standard of legal practice. So again, many, many benefits. And coming to today's topic, the main subject of today's meeting, we are establishing the criminal law practice today, which is again a reason to celebrate and to be proud. You can find our practices so far, the ones that we have launched, again on our homepage. I'd like to thank our colleague Costinel Manole, who has been helping us with developing our website. And here you can see again in the menu the practices that we have launched so far, with the criminal law practice again highlighted. By establishing this criminal law practice, we are trying to improve collaboration and cooperation between US criminal lawyers and to provide you with a platform to come together and to work together to identify opportunities of collaboration and also to ensure that justice is served, to use a cliche. So my invitation and our invitation is to talk some more. You can see here my colleagues, Mrs. Adelina Zapis and Mrs. Zina Nagu, to whom I am sure that you have been talking. And also alongside me, Mr. Romeo Cosma, who's the network coordinator and who will be hosting today's roundtable as the practices coordinator. So allow me to welcome Mr. Romeo Cosma. Thank you for the time for this brief presentation, hopefully. And I will start by saying that I have been knowing Romeo for many years. He is the, let's say, consummate professional. He is one of the top Romanian criminal lawyers, but he's also an accomplished business leader because he has been, let's say, establishing successful legal projects for probably more than 20 years. He also has an accomplished career in criminal law for more than 25 years, more than 26 actually. So he's the founder of the, let's say, most successful lawyers platform in Romania, which is called avocatura.com. And now he has been masterminding this wonderful network that brings us together, which is WOLEP. So welcome to Mr. Romeo Cosma.
Thank you, Mr. Teo. Dear colleagues, I don't speak very well English. Teo translate for me.
Yes,
this meeting.
allow me to translate for Mr. Cosma, if that's okay with everyone.
And I speak Romanian. Okay.
So I'll be picking Mr. Cosma's brain today.
Astăzi lansăm departamentul de drept penal în rețeaua WOLEP, rețea pe care o construim împreună.
So today we are launching the criminal law practice of WOLEP, and I would like to underline that this is a common endeavor, this is a common project, we are doing it together.
Este o zi de bucurie pentru mine, pentru că se întâmplă un lucru pe care mi l-am dorit de la momentul la care am demarat proiectul WOLEP.
This is a very joyful day for me and hopefully for us. It's a moment that I have been thinking about and envisioning since the very first day of WOLEP.
Pentru că în tot acest proiect WOLEP, lucru pe care mi-l doresc cu adevărat, adică ce este important pentru mine, este faptul să cunosc alți colegi, să cunosc și să mă împrietenesc cu alți colegi avocați din toată lumea.
Because what I want to do through WOLEP is to get to know other colleagues from all around the world, to establish friendships, but also professional collaborations and business opportunities.
Și dacă ne cunoaștem, ne împrietenim și știm suficient de multe lucruri unii despre alții, sunt convins că reușim să facem și bani împreună.
So if we manage to get to know each other, if we develop a friendly relationship, and then identify opportunities to collaborate, I am sure that we will also be able to make money together.
Un departament specializat în interiorul WOLEP este la fel de util, dar ceva mai practic decât rețeaua însăși.
So in order to make this more viable and more productive, it is my opinion that probably a specialized department is for criminal lawyers in this case is even more useful than the entire network.
Bineînțeles că există o întrebare. Care este scopul acestui departament specializat? Ce o să se întâmple în acest departament de drept penal?
As I'm talking to criminal lawyers around the world, you in this case, I'm sure that a question springs to your mind, which is, what's the purpose of this roundtable and of this department?
Și am încercat să identific trei scopuri principale pentru care merită să creăm împreună un departament specializat, merită să întărim relațiile personale, dar și profesionale între noi avocații specializați în cu această specializare.
So I try to identify to this purpose three goals through which to strengthen the relationship between us, not only personally, but also professionally.
Mai întâi, cred că principalul obiectiv al acestui departament ar fi să ne dăm voie să ne dezvoltăm relații interpersonale, noi avocații specializați în dreptul penal.
So firstly, I think one of the most important goals of this department, of this practice, would be to allow us to develop interpersonal relationship between us as criminal lawyers.
Oamenii reușesc să facă lucruri minunate dacă sunt legați de sentimente autentice de respect, de considerație, dacă știu lucruri unii despre alții și putem construi în felul acesta structuri foarte puternice.
People manage to do wonderful things together if they know that they have a friendly face and a trustworthy person with them. So that is one of our goals.
Cel de-al doilea scop pe care ar trebui să-l aibă departamentul nostru de drept penal este să identificăm acele mijloace care ne pot ajuta pe noi, avocații din cadrul WOLEP, să ne consolidăm sau chiar să ne creștem prestigiul profesional folosind infrastructura și instrumentele oferite de stafful rețelei WOLEP.
The second goal that I identified for today's meeting and for this department would be to fully use the instruments and the infrastructure which is made available by the WOLEP network in order to increase and to, let's say, improve our professional standing.
Ok. Și cel de-al treilea scop, dar nu ultimul dintre acestea, îl reprezintă conlucrarea profesională însăși. Facilitarea conlucrării profesionale.
And the third purpose, the third goal, is to facilitate professional relationships between its members. So working together in order to achieve our goals as professionals.
Cred că trebuie să pornim de la o realitate care există în cazul de fiecăruia dintre noi, respectiv faptul că noi suntem specializați în drept penal, bineînțeles că practicăm această specializare fiecare în țara lui și bineînțeles că ne adresăm unei clientele din țara în care practicăm.
So the first reality check is that we are obviously criminal lawyers in each one of our countries, be it, for example, Montenegro or Serbia or France or Romania, and we are dealing with clients mainly from our national markets, but that's not exclusive.
În această piață națională, fiecare concurăm cu alți colegi avocați care au aceeași specializare.
And in this national market in which we are dealing, we are also in competition with other colleagues who have the same specialty, which is criminal law.
Ok. În acest proces, în această competiție care există în mod firesc între avocați, se pune problema de a discerne sau de a compara care sunt capacitățile profesionale ale avocaților.
So in this competition that we addressed, that we talked about, it is imperative to identify those skills and those, let's say, sets of abilities which distinguish members, which distinguishes lawyers.
La mine în țară, în România, eu sunt un avocat cu un succes mai mare sau mai mic, care știu să fac apărări bune în domeniul dreptului penal.
So in Romania, in my case, as I previously stated, and also Mr. Burnar, so me, stated, I am renowned as a criminal lawyer, and I do my job in this department.
Clienții mă aleg și îmi solicită serviciile pornind de la percepția pe care aceștia o au față de capacitățile mele profesionale.
And clients choose me because of their perception of my professional skills, of my good name, let's say.
Yes. Dar așa cum spuneam, la fel ca mine, mai există mulți alți avocați care au aceleași capacități profesionale.
But as you most probably know, there are many lawyers who share maybe some professional skills that I have. So something has to distinguish me.
Realitatea este însă că trăim într-o lume globală și nu într-o lume națională.
And the fact is that we are living not in a national reality, but in a globalized reality. So,
și în portofoliul nostru de clienți, întotdeauna găsim persoane care ar avea nevoie de asistență din partea unui avocat de drept penal dintr-o altă țară a Uniunii Europene sau o altă țară de pe glob.
And the truth is that there are specific situations, and they are not little, there are many in a portfolio in which clients they require the assistance of a European Union lawyer, so from another country in the European Union, which is the case for many of you.
Bineînțeles că WOLEP îmi oferă posibilitatea, WOLEP și relațiile personale pe care le am cu avocații din cadrul rețelei WOLEP,
So WOLEP gives me the opportunity through my relationship, through my professional, but also personal, let's say, links with the other colleagues.
îmi oferă posibilitatea să recomand un avocat din Franța sau din altă țară a Uniunii Europene.
So in that case, when a client approaches me and says, Mr. Cosma, I need the assistance of a lawyer from France, let's say, or from Serbia, I can do that through WOLEP.
Sau, dimpotrivă, familia ar putea să-mi solicită să rămân implicat în cazul pe care îl are membru din familie care spunem că este arestat în Serbia și să fiu eu cel care ține legătura și informează familia cu privire la toate procedurile care se desfășoară în Serbia.
But there's the second situation, the second scenario in which the family of the client will require me to stay in touch and to oversee the relationship with the other WOLEP colleague, with the other lawyer from Serbia, let's say.
Dacă aș putea să fac acest lucru, să pot recomanda sau să rămân într-o relație de colaborare cu un avocat din Serbia,
if I could do that, if I could recommend, but still be involved in that relationship with that specific colleague,
avocatul Romeo Cosma ar avea o abilitate profesională pe care nu au ceilalți colegi cu care intru în competiție.
and then I think that would distinguish me because there are not many lawyers, and Mr. Cosma is talking from his own personal experience and professional experience. There are not many lawyers who can boast such an ability to be able to establish a link with another colleague from another country.
Pentru că acesta este scopul meu personal, să reușesc să dezvolt relații personale și de colaborare profesională, cred că WOLEP reprezintă instrumentul prin care pot face acest lucru foarte bine.
And for the stated goals that I enumerated a bit earlier, I think WOLEP is the perfect instrument because it allows me to create my own network of specialized lawyers, of peers from the same specialty. And I will, if Mr. Cosma allows me, because we probably enter the main discussion, I will, with your approval, I will kindly ask our members who joined us today to briefly present themselves, and I will begin.
Vreau să introduc, să creez o prezentare. Spuneam, tocmai pentru că acesta e scopul meu, hai să ne cunoaștem.
So let's, Mr. Cosma says, let's meet each other, let's see who we are and what we do, and afterwards we will go on with all of these issues, all of these subjects. So I'll begin with Mr. Zoran Minic. Hello, Mr. Minic. Please present yourself in a few phrases.
Hello, my name is Zoran Minic. Nice to meet you all. I am a lawyer from Belgrade, Serbia. I'm solo practitioner in criminal law, and I'm in this. I have my own practice since 2011, when I was accepted in Bar Association of Belgrade, and since then I am solo practitioner, like I said, and I am specialized and still specializing because I believe that it is a never-ending process in criminal law practice. So Mr. Cosma sent me an invitation, contacted me via LinkedIn, and I was very astonished and excited about his initiative, because I think that WOLEP is very unique and very perspective initiative, and I'm glad to be here.
We are also glad
Yes.
to have you with us. Thank you, Mr. Minic.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And I will continue with Mrs. Lucia Vranesevic-Grbic. Hello.
Hello, Lucia.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. So my name is Lucia Vranesevic-Grbic. As my other colleague from Serbia, I am an attorney based in Belgrade. In contrast to many other attorneys here, that is my guess. And as I said in the interview done with Teodor, I started off as a criminal lawyer. I hold 2 master's degree in criminal law, but I don't really practice criminal law anymore. My practice is mostly 90% oriented towards tech and corporate law, but I still do sometimes criminal law, especially as a narrow specialization in cybercrime, sorry. And I agree with everything you said about WOLEP collaborations. I'm very happy to be a part of WOLEP, and I'm proud to say that recently I had a great collaboration with a Bulgarian attorney, and as I redirected my clients to him, and as I've heard recently, they already signed the power of attorney. So I'm really glad to be a part of this. That's all, I guess.
Glad, and if it's okay with you, Mrs. Grbic, I think we can, because Mr. Cosma talked about establishing also a friendship, not only a professional relationship. I think we can disclose, if you agree, the fact that in July you will be hosting a WOLEP webinar. We will issue all of the details via email, but hopefully you'll also attend Mrs. Grbic's event, because it will be very interesting. So thank you again for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
We can safely say that in your case, criminal law is the first love. So because of that, I think that explains why you are here today. And I will.
I wanted to attend. I really think this is very interesting, and I really had a desire to attend this roundtable.
Very much appreciated. And now I will go on by inviting Mr. Nicolas Richardot from France, from Bordeaux, to say a few words. Mr. Richardot, if you need, you can speak in French, and I will translate. Je vais traduire.
Hello. No, I think my English will be fine just for a short presentation.
Merci.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Nicolas Richardot from France. I practice in Bordeaux, but originally from Paris. I did also my studies in criminal law. I started my activity as a collaborator in construction and insurance law, but I didn't really like it so much. So I changed to a more general office, and now I developed my activity maybe 90 or 95% in criminal law. And so I'm starting as a solo practitioner in August. So I'm looking forward for opportunities with WOLEP, especially because some of my clients also come from East Europe and many from Bulgaria. So that could be interesting in the years to come to collaborate. Even yesterday, I had clients who asked me if a judicial system that exists in Bulgaria is applying in France. So that will be probably interesting to discuss with fellow lawyers from abroad. So I'm very happy to be here and to participate as much as I can. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Michel.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. And we'll surely approach this subject a bit in the next few minutes, probably. And I will move on to Mrs. Angela Rajkovic. If you can introduce yourself, please.
Hello, nice to meet you, everyone, and some of you once again. Some of you knows me from previous practice, but someone not. I'm Angela Rajkovic, attorney from Podgorica, from Montenegro. I'm a lawyer for 11 years now. I worked in most of the biggest law offices in Montenegro for 9 years, Now I have my office with my partner. I'm doing also and civil law and commercial law and also criminal law. And I'm a member of WOLEP. I started a member of WOLEP a few months ago, thanks to Mr. Cosma and Ms. Adalina. And I'm pleased and happy to see you all and be part of this roundtable.
Thank you. And we really appreciate the fact that you also attended the most recent roundtable, the one on real estate. And we'll move on to Mr. Alin Daniel Calcan. Mr. Calcan, if you can say a few words about yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Calcan Daniel. I'm a lawyer at Bucharest Bar for 4 years. I'm a criminal lawyer, only criminal lawyer. And I'm glad to be here. I don't know what to say.
Who kill?
Thank you.
Who kill?
Thank you. Now we'll move on with Mrs. Horoi.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm very glad to meet you all. I'm Irina Horoi. I work with Mr. Cosma at Cosma and Associates. I'm a lawyer since 2016. My areas of law are basically civil law, commercial law, and public procurement law. But what can I say? Everyone likes criminal law because it's the most exciting in the School of Law, right? So I'm very excited for this meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Horoi. Yeah, about what you said, we watch it all. Yeah, next we'll talk to. Okay, so we watch it every day on the news and also in movies. Criminal law is the most popular, and in my WOLEP talk with Mr. Richardo, we actually talked about also about a very popular TV series which is called Better Call Saul, and it features a very, let's say, unorthodox criminal lawyer. A very good series which we recommend to you. But don't do that in your own practice.
No.
Because it will land you in legal trouble.
Yes.
So we'll move on with Mrs. Elena Vladu. If she can say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for not being able to open my camera from technical issues. It's a very pleasure to be here for me. It's an honor. Thank you for this invitation. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Cosma, for this project. I think it's of a great value. I am a lawyer. I have 10 years experience in Bucharest, Romania. I've worked with Mr. Cosma and we share great projects together, and it was a big honor for me. I think that this idea, it's a very good idea because it's a chance for us to get to know other colleagues from other countries, and I'm sure that we'll have the opportunity to share ideas and projects. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Mr.
you, and
Elena.
we hope the same. And
Mr. Deleanu.
concluding with Mr. Mihai Deleanu.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mihai Deleanu. I am a lawyer in Romania. I have about 18 years of experience. I not practice especially in criminal law, but my area of expertise is related with this area. And I'm glad to be here to establish new connection with colleagues.
It's good to have you all with us, and
Thank you.
the fact that we have this opportunity to meet and to see each other, first of all, will allow us to, and also to get to know each member's ideas and also issues in their respective markets. I think is the biggest benefit of today's roundtable. So, Mr. Cosma, if you can continue with your ideas. Thank you, Mr. Deleanu.
Sunt foarte bucuros că v-am cunoscut pe toți.
I'm very glad that I had a chance to talk to all of you.
Și vă mărturisesc că aș vrea să știu mult mai multe lucruri despre fiecare dintre voi.
And I'm very curious to find out even more about yourselves beyond this very brief presentation.
Dar probabil această curiozitate va fi satisfăcută în întâlnirile viitoare pe care le vom avea.
But I'm very hopeful, and I imagine that I will get to satisfy this curiosity in the next meetings of our practice.
Pentru că așa cum spuneam la început, primul dintre scopurile acestor întâlniri este să ne ajute să ne cunoaștem mai bine între noi și să dezvoltăm relații personale, chiar relații de prietenie, în așa fel încât să putem fi capabili să colaborăm profesional.
And I think that by, like I previously said in the start of this meeting, by getting to know each other, by developing relationships, also friendly relationships, we can develop the trust which will allow us to work together.
Am adus în discuție întâlnirile viitoare și cred că acum este momentul să spun câteva cuvinte despre cum văd activitatea acestui departament specializat în drept penal din cadrul WOLEP.
I didn't mention the next meetings by chance because I would like to somehow highlight or underline the activity of this practice as I see it, and I also expect your feedback, which will be very valuable in making this practice success.
Tot mai devreme spuneam că obiectivul sau scopul acestui departament este să faciliteze conlucrarea profesională între avocați.
So one of the principal objectives of this department, of this practice, is to facilitate the collaboration between you.
Ok. Nu mă aștept ca oricare dintre voi, nici măcar eu, să fim pregătiți cu un client pe care să-l supunem discuții în cadrul unei mese rotunde. Iată, acesta este clientul, acesta este nevoia clientului, haideți să-l ajutăm cu toții pe acest client. Pentru că niciunul dintre noi, cu siguranță, nu are clienți pregătiți pe care să putem colabora.
So at the moment, I don't expect, and I think it's not feasible to approach the subject of a specific client and say, this is the client and I have something for each and every one of you to help this client, and I would like to somewhat, let's say, give you a bit of this business to you.
Premizele unor colaborări profesionale se construiesc ca toate aturile profesionale.
So let's say the background of a professional collaboration is built in time. It takes trust, but that's the way you know it from your career so far. So there's a bit of preparing for this.
Așa că vă invit ca în continuare, în cadrul Departamentului de Drept Penal, să pornim pe acest drum și să construim aceste premize ale colaborării profesionale.
So what I suggest and what I invite you to do is to build the foundations of this relationship in order to be able to get to the most pressing part for all of us, which is business relationships.
Acest proces, această călătorie a premizelor pentru colaborarea profesională, bineînțeles că are o serie de jaloane pe care trebuie să le îndeplinim în activitatea pe care o vom desfășura.
So of course, on this path of creating, as is the case now, and developing this department, there are some milestones that we have to pass by.
Când mă refer la aceste jaloane pe care trebuie să le îndeplinim, primul jalon îl reprezintă relațiile profesionale și încrederea pe care o putem construi noi în colegii noștri în avocații din rețeaua WOLEP.
So one of the milestones that I'm talking about, I think, is expressing ourselves, expressing who we are as professionals, and proving ourselves to be trustworthy.
Ok. Pe lângă această încredere profesională, o să avem nevoie din partea staffului rețelei WOLEP să ne ajute să ne consolidăm prestigiul profesional și să putem să anunțăm public, să informăm consumatorii de servicii juridice că există avocați specializați în drept penal în cadrul rețelei WOLEP.
So it was again not by chance that during my presentation at the beginning, I showed you what the WOLEP staff can do for you, because that is one of the ways in which we can inform the public, but also our network, that there are specialized criminal lawyers in this practice and in this network.
Din această perspectivă, ceea ce WOLEP face este o comunicare la nivel larg, la nivel global, dar întotdeauna comunicarea publică care se adresează practic întregului glob este o comunicare care pătrunde destul de firav în mediile regionale.
So what WOLEP does is communicating globally, communicating publicly about our members and their professional high standards. But at the same time, we know again from practice that it is pretty hard to penetrate the regional, the national markets.
Mai puțin. Și este de așteptat să fie așa.
And it is somewhat natural to be like that. So for example, for WOLEP to be known in Montenegro or in Serbia or in France.
Sau în București.
Or even in Romania, because you will be very interested to hear that probably WOLEP is better known globally than here in its home country, in its startups country.
Sigur, WOLEP comunică public, întreține o pagină de LinkedIn, un grup de LinkedIn, o pagină de Facebook, un grup de Facebook, un canal de YouTube, dar cu toate acestea este de așteptat ca nivelul de penetrare a mesajului public să nu reușească să ajungă să fie atât de puternic la nivel regional, tocmai pentru că este un vector de comunicare publică globală.
So notwithstanding the fact that we entertain, that we develop all of these communication channels, which are LinkedIn, our LinkedIn channel, also our YouTube channel, social media channels, and so on. It is, like I said, to be expected that we have a global audience, but not necessarily a national impact.
Ok. Lucrurile acestea le poate face WOLEP.
So this is what WOLEP can do, and now moving the ball to you.
Și acum ar trebui să identificăm ceea ce poate face fiecare dintre noi, astfel încât mesajul transmis prin intermediul WOLEP să ajungă să fie promovat sau propagat în zona geografică care interesează pe fiecare dintre noi, pe mine în București, pe fiecare în localitatea unde își desfășoară activitatea, în Bordeaux, Mr. Richardot.
And because we'd like to make this conversation a dynamic one, and we'd like to involve you, we'd like to ask you, and we'll move on between us, between all of the attendees, what could we do in order to maximize and to get WOLEP to be known in your countries and in your regions? For example, in, let's say, Belgrade, or in Bordeaux, or in Podgorica. Or what do you think? Please feel free to open your microphones. So from your experience so far with WOLEP, what do you think that could be done in order to be better known and to draw more lawyers? Because that is also another aspect. For example, what Mr. Cosma can also say for himself is that at the beginning of our network, we envisioned the fact that we can establish a national, let's say, center of WOLEP by having 20 lawyers from a specific country. And for some countries, that was achieved pretty easily. For example, again, from our experience in Italy or in Spain, we have many more than 20, but there are some other regions which still do not have 20 lawyers. But let's say for the past few months, we were glad to see that in the Balkan area, there was a big increase in members in countries like Serbia or Bulgaria or as we can see today, Montenegro. So your thoughts, Mr. Minic, please?
Yes, thank you. Well, I think that this will be a process, and I think it will be a long process, but I think that we need to go on every step. There is no shortcuts in this. And we need all to think about some ways how to achieve national visibility and recognizability. I think that what you started as podcasts and roundtables, and that it's a great opportunity for that, especially if some hot topic occurs in a region, or in Romania, for example, or Serbia, Montenegro, and if we can react on that very fast. I cannot imagine now, for example, some migrant crisis or some international, I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Minic, and I will give, unfortunately, a tragic example, but there was the case of that young...
yes, here in Belgrade. Yes,
yeah,
yes. I have that
shooting,
in mind.
So, yeah.
Yes, that's mass shooting in the first time in our history. It was for God forbid such similar things to happen in any country. But that was an opportunity for example, to organize and to have some open discussion, and that to go viral after that. I think that this social activity in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, any social platform, I think that WOLEP should have its presence on every major social platform, and that all members should share links of activity of WOLEP. So that is what came to me right at this moment. So, but I will gladly think about more, and
these are great
come up with some
ideas.
ideas, and I will gladly send you some ideas, some fresh ideas which I come up.
So basically today we are brainstorming, which is great. Thank you. Very good ideas. And I ask also Mrs. Grbic and Mrs. Rajkovic if they can tell us, do you think there can be an institutional support for WOLEP, for example, from the local bars in Belgrade or in, let's say, Podgorica or in Montenegro?
I can say, yes, and I think it's a good idea to connect with bar association in Montenegro, because on that way you can directly contact with them to see what is opinion about that. And I agree with colleague Milic to use any kind of media to promote WOLEP in Montenegro. It's like that. But I think that LinkedIn is a very good platform for that. And the WOLEP already uses that for promoting. but I think that our attorneys from our country, it's good that you can connect with our bar association. For example, I already talking about WOLEP, and that I'm a member of WOLEP, and I'm talking with my colleagues. And some are interesting, some it's thinking, some it's very busy about that. But I think that they only that we can to put in high level thinking and opinion about WOLEP in Montenegro, that they know about WOLEP, what is WOLEP about. Because before Mr. Cosma connected me, I really didn't know anything about WOLEP. And after that, when explained to me he and Miss Adelina, I know now everything or the most about that, and I was interesting because I checking a site of WOLEP. I wanted to see what is about, and I talking with my colleague also about that. I think that it will be new members, but I said to them that they can to connect you on LinkedIn and something like that.
Thank you for your ideas. Yeah, much appreciated. Mrs. Grbic, please.
I agree that it would be done on an institutional level, and I think it would be great to connect all the bars and make like a collaboration between WOLEP and bars in each country. But I must agree with Angela that the social and Zoran, that social media presence is very important, because, for example, before Mr. Cosma contacted me and I found out about WOLEP and read about it, and I had been asked by clients and possible clients on numerous occasions, do I have connections with lawyers in other countries? And it happened, I think, like more than 10 times from 2021. So even 1 month before I entered into WOLEP, I was asked by a possible corporate client if I have any connections in the European Union, and I didn't have any. So when I became a member of WOLEP, it really helped me, since, as I said, with the Bulgarian case, I get the inquiries occasionally. But I didn't know anything about WOLEP until I was contacted. So I think that social media presence, doing these roundtables, activities, and webinars will improve visibility of WOLEP. As Mr. Minic said, it takes a long time. It can be done overnight, but I think this is a good way to go.
And I have another, thank you. And I have another brief question for you all. Do you think that by taking part in the various activities that we propose, your standing, your professional standing in front of the clients that you have or could possibly have increases? I mean, when your clients find out that you are members of this network and you are participating, you are showcasing your expertise, does it increase?
Yes, definitely, because some of my clients
appreciated, by clients.
Yeah, I think this definitely helps with clients, and I have been told by some of my long-term clients that they're delighted that now I can talk to lawyers in other countries, because a number of my clients actually lives in other countries. I mean, they have businesses based in Serbia or some activities based in Serbia, but a lot of them really or travel around Europe or live in another country. So personally, this helps me a lot.
That's very good to hear. And I saw also Mr. Minic nodding, so he agrees. Moving on to, thank you, Mrs. Grbic. Mr. Richardo, do you hear us? Can you hear us? I don't know if he can hear us. If not, I think Mr. Cosma can continue.
Noi, avocații, pendulăm între două preocupări. Între activitatea pe care o avem de făcut pentru clienții pe care îi ajutăm și între preocupările pe care le avem față de atragerea de noi clienți.
So as lawyers, we are balancing between two urgent needs, which are first, we need to manage the clients that we have and to
Activity.
service them as good as it gets. And the second of our needs, of our urgent needs, is to attract other clients. And that is, recommendations in this field are very important.
Concentrarea pe care, sau noi la WOLEP în acest departament ne vom concentra foarte mult pe atragerea de noi clienți.
So through this criminal law practice, we will very much engage and focus on attracting new clients.
Pentru fiecare dintre noi, dar și clienți privire la care să putem colabora profesional, să putem conlucra profesional.
So we are talking about individual cases, but also common projects.
Preocuparea va rămâne în continuare a fiecărui avocat cu privire la activitatea de zi cu zi, pentru că acolo probabil că nu o să putem să fim de folos.
So obviously, every of our members will primarily think of his own practice, his national, let's say, practice, but WOLEP will also provide some other opportunities.
În realitate, în practica de zi cu zi a fiecăruia dintre noi, există ceva foarte valoros pentru oricare dintre noi.
So in our everyday practice as criminal lawyers, there is also something valuable for the other colleagues.
Când spun ceva valoros, mă refer la două categorii de lucruri de valoare.
And I am referring to two categories of valuable aspects.
În primul rând, recunoașterea propriului meu profesionalism de către Mr. Richardo din rețeaua WOLEP, bineînțeles, după ce trecem în procesul de cunoaștere, după ce ne validăm profesionalismul, va reprezenta pentru mine în activitatea de zi cu zi un adevărat calificativ profesional.
So after we, let's say, overcome the initial process of getting to know each other and to develop trust, I think that, for example, the professional recognition that Mr. Richardo awards me, or Mrs. Gârbici or Mr. Minic, to me as a fellow criminal lawyer will be very valuable, because we tend to put a lot of emphasis and prize the client's recognition, but also it is very important to be recognized by your other colleagues.
Ok. Și cea de-a doua categorie de chestiune care este de valoare îl reprezintă specificul național, informații legate de specificul național privind practica avocatului din acea țară.
And the other category is the fact that you are, let's say, the manager of very powerful and important information dealing with criminal law practice in your respective country.
De ce spun că este un lucru de valoare? De exemplu, bineînțeles că în oricare din țări se emit mandate de arestare.
So in each of your countries, there are being issued warrants for arrest, which is, again, an universal aspect.
Dar valoros pentru mine este să știu, în cazul în care o persoană este arestată în oricare din țările Uniunii Europene, care sunt drepturile inculpatului, ce face avocatul pentru el, în cât timp poate să studieze dosarul, când poate obține o copie a dosarului.
But what is very valuable to me as your WOLEP colleague would be to find out from you if my client for example, gets arrested in Serbia or in Montenegro or in France, how long does it take to be able to speak to the defendant, to my client, in order to study the file, in order to talk to the authorities and so on. So that is very valuable, and that is something that only you can provide to me.
Și la fel, pentru familia celui arestat în Serbia sau în Franța, cât de curând pot să le ofer acestora informații despre motivul arestării, perspectivele asupra pedepsei, cât va dura procesul și cât va costa avocatul.
And beyond that, what is very valuable as well is the fact that from the perspective of the defendant's family, I can assure them, for example, how long this whole judicial process will take, how long he could be detained, and so on. There are many informations that I can provide due to my relationship with the other WOLEP lawyers. So, sorry, just a second, Mr. Cosma, if Mr. Richardot can hear us. Mr. Richardot, can you hear us?
Yes, hello, sorry, I had an important call. I couldn't.
No problem, no problem. That's no bother, so don't worry. Coming back to one of our topics that we debated previously, we wanted to ask you, because we engaged in a debate on the national specific of our profession. So we were wondering, from your perspective, Mr. Richardot, how should we deal with common projects involving clients, for example, who are maybe detained in France or detained in Romania or detained in Serbia? So how should we deal with the relationship that will be established between us as co-parties in this case?
Well, it's an interesting question, because yesterday I was defending a Bulgarian citizen, and at the end of the trial, the judge asked the person if he goes to detention, does he prefer to go in detention in France or in Bulgaria? So, for example, this is the kind of topics that could be interesting to discuss, the advantages of being detained in France or in Bulgaria. So, condition of detention would be the first answer. Second topics would be, I'm not very specialized about it, but I know that there are sometimes arrest warrants, a European arrest warrant that we have to deal with. So sometimes that I don't know much about this procedure, but I know that this could be also interesting to discuss with.
You gave us some very good topics for the next meetings, which is very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think they are very poignant. They are very powerful. Yeah. So, Mr. Minic, I think you wanted to intervene. You wanted to say something, because I know we talked about this topic about warrants.
No, I didn't want anything to say. But yes, it is a very interesting case. In fact, a very interesting topic. So it would be, I think that it would be nice to organize, I don't know, for example, some podcast about it, and to talk on this issue, because
that is totally doable, and we'll look into it, and we invite all of you to join the debate. So allow me a curiosity, if you can tell us. I know there's the secrecy between lawyer and client, but Mr. Richardot, what did he say? What did he prefer? What was your advice? What did he choose? Sorry, we don't hear you.
Here we go. There were three Bulgarian citizens.
Okay.
So two of the Bulgarians said, I want to stay in France because they had family in France. And the third guy asked if he's detained, to be detained in Bulgaria because he has no family in France, and also because he's condemned to pay a lot of money in France. So if he goes back to Bulgaria, it's easier to avoid the civil pursuit.
Thank you. That's
But-
very
But beside these consideration, it's interesting for further trials to discuss more about the conditions of detention and the possibilities to go out the prison before the term and everything. That
you
makes me
reminded
see.
me. So your intervention reminded me of our fellow member, Mr. Giancarlo Paolo Pezzuti. He's also an author of academic papers, and I know that he authored an article at some point about conditions in the penitentiaries in Italy. And he told me that in his region, in Napoli, for probably a long period of time, there was a very bad name to the penitentiary system in that area. So I think things have improved in the past decade, but if you had a client in Napoli, he probably wouldn't have preferred to stay there. Mr.
Okay.
Ok, legat de discuția cu domnul Richardot vis-a-vis de locul unde se execută pedepsa și de condițiile oferite de sistemul penitenciar. Nouă ni se întâmplă în România, avem destul de multe persoane care încearcă să execute pedepsa în Marea Britanie.
So we have in direct relation with what you said, Mr. Richardot, we have many defendants in Romania who try to do their time in Great Britain,
Sau
to be
în
transferred
Italia,
there, or in Italy,
Spania,
or in other countries, yeah, Spain.
în Franța. Și de regulă atunci există colaborări între avocați din România și avocații din Franța, dar avocații din România emit niște documente cu privire la starea penitenciarelor.
Okay, so in that particular scenario, you usually have a working relationship established between lawyers in those respective countries, in which those foreign lawyers issue a statement, a document about the conditions in that respective criminal system.
Pe care avocatul din Franța îl folosește, încercând să convingă judecătorul că se asigură respectarea drepturilor omului mai bine dacă execută pedeapsa în Franța, de exemplu.
In which case the respective criminal lawyer tries to convince the judge that his client would be better taken care of and that human rights will be better respected in that particular country.
Are astfel de cazuri? Există astfel de cazuri?
Did you have a similar case in which you had to argument in front of a judge the fact that it would be better for your client to serve time in another country?
To be honest, I haven't had this kind of situation yet, but I can remind I am lawyer for a year and a half only, so I didn't have that many clients. Maybe in the next years, hopefully. I have a colleague who had the issue of a person detained in France and who was whose home country was trying to extradite. I don't know how to say. Extradite to Rwanda. So there was this problematic with the detention judge to keep him in France because the risk of threat to his life in his country was very strong. I know we have those issues, but I haven't had to deal with it yet. But it's an issue, of course. I know Italy had the same things with the mafiosi taken outside the country and taken back to Italy to be judged.
One discussion, maybe one discussion with one colleague from Rwanda.
Mr. Mohamedou Aminu, you've seen him probably at some of our roundtables. He is unusual of these meetings, and he can inform us about the conditions in his country. I know he's from Cameroon, so he can also talk some. No, he's from Cameroon, but he works in Rwanda. Yeah. Great. Those are very good topics for the next meetings. So Mr. Cosma, if you can address the conclusion of this meeting, we still have some 10-12 minutes.
Cea mai importantă concluzie este că sunt bucuros să constituim acest departament.
So, Mr. Cosma's main drawing point, main conclusion would be that he's very happy that we started this practice, and we are sure that there will be many more colleagues who will join us in the future.
Sunt bucuros că v-am întâlnit pe toți, că v-am cunoscut pe toți și aș vrea să vă transmit că abia îmi doresc să ne revedem și să facem lucruri împreună.
And what I want to emphasize is the fact that I'm very happy to get to know you a bit, to be able to talk to you, which is great due to technology, and to be able in the future to do things together.
În continuare, ar trebui să ne propunem să aflăm cât mai multe lucruri despre noi, cât mai multe lucruri despre ceea ce știm să facem profesional.
So this meeting was only the icebreaker, as you say. It was the equivalent of a friendly discussion. But moving on, I think we are already identified some topics that we can address in detail at a further meeting.
Ok, și să ne gândim, să ne concentrăm, să descoperim idei noi prin care putem să ne construim o imagine publică, un prestigiu profesional în fața clienților noștri, pentru că sunt convins că atunci vom avea clienți pentru colaborări profesionale.
So by developing these ideas and brainstorming, I think we can identify the most optimum, the most adequate ways to be able to express ourselves in front of our clients, and then we will also have the opportunity to bring in new clients.
Așa că vă mulțumesc foarte mult și aștept să vă implicați în continuare în construirea acestui departament.
So let me thank you again for attending this inaugural roundtable, which sets the foundation for this practice. And I strongly urge you, I strongly invite you and support you to get involved in this department, but because I think that it will benefit all of us. So allow me, Mr. Cosma, to also give our guests the occasion to say a few words in the end.
Yes.
So
Yes. Please.
Yeah, whoever wants can open their microphones and in a few words say.
Can I say something?
Please.
In my mind, I have many questions for all of us about some criminal law practice that is a very big team, like is communication, Skype application, like evidence in legal cases and like that. I don't know, do you have some issue like that issues as we have in Montenegro? And I think that there are many topics in criminal law practice that we can discuss. And I think that we have to continue with all of that. We also, I can suggest that we can put some team for a specific team or issue for discuss on some round table, and that is a good way to share our legal practice in other countries, from our country to you and from your country to me. And thank you for this inviting me for this roundtable.
Thank you too, and it's our pleasure to exchange knowledge and the insights about our national systems of criminal law.
Okay, may I?
Yes, sure.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you all. And first of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Cosma, for organizing this, and you, Doctor, for translating and also organize this, and for inviting me. It was nice to meet you all. It is during these conversations, there was a couple of great topics for the future. And like I said, I think that this is not sprint, marathon. So this is on a long run thing, I think. And I think that this initiative really has a future, and and a great potential. And I would like to point out that I'm very pleased and satisfied with this ice-breaking roundtable. And it would be my pleasure to take part in a future ones, not just criminal law, but first of all, criminal law. This is my specialty and my great passion. But you can count on me for future meetings and discussions. And it's a really great honor to be with you all here. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Mr. Minic, and it's very flattering and very rewarding to hear that it satisfied your expectations. Mrs. Grbic, if you may say a few words in the end.
Sure. I don't have anything original to say since my colleagues explained everything in a great manner. I would just like to say thank you for inviting me. It was a great presentation, a great icebreaker, and I would like to take part in other webinars and the roundtables, and I hope you will have a corporate one or even tech one. That would be great, but
actually the corporate one is the next one.
Next one.
Okay, great. Then count me in. I'll keep attending the criminal law roundtables as well. So thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And also
may I say a word afterwards? Thank you. Maybe I catch you, sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Richardo, please.
Yeah, I would like to thank every one of you, of course, and especially the two of you. I don't know how, but I think I registered the conversation. So if I find out how to get the video and you want me to send it to you for further use,
yeah,
I can. I don't know if that's going to work actually, but my phone is recording. I don't know how.
No problem.
No problem.
We appreciate the initiative. We can and we will also send you the recording because we announced it at the start of this roundtable.
Okay, so you
what I also wanted to tell you, and then I will leave the final remarks to my Romanian colleagues, is the fact that we also look forward to meeting each other because in the case of Belgrade, it's very close to Romania. In the case of Bordeaux, it's
very far from Romania.
Yeah, not necessarily because by plane you get there pretty fast, but it also goes the other way around. As you know, Bucharest has some very beautiful French buildings. It was called Little Paris in the interwar period. So there are connections between our cultures, and we look forward to having you here over at WOLEP. So if our Romanian colleagues can say a few words in the end, we very much appreciate. Mrs. Horoi or Mr. Calcan?
Well, if my colleague Daniel doesn't want to speak, I would like to thank you all for your participation. I also appreciate very much what Mr. Cosma did with this WOLEP platform. And we are very glad that we are also involved in this project because I think it's revolutionary for the legal profession. And we all know that lawyers are a little bit traditional, and this doesn't give much to the profession. So I think this idea is very, very good, and we all thank to Mr. Cosma for it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Mrs.
so much. And I think that concludes very well our first WOLEP Criminal Law Roundtable. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon. We'll keep in touch, and we'll also send you a report of this common project that we started today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Thank
Bye.
you.